There's new regulations coming in now. The US, of course, we have the SEC stuff. You've got your 8K filings and whatever. Most organizations, I would argue, have not really looked too far down the rabbit hole on actually the line for line compliance requirements around DOS or DDoS, because they're usually like, it's handled, it's taken care of. Our upstream provider will do that. It didn't work well for everybody else. It's not going to work well for you. You're not compliant if you can't deal with that type of attack. And they literally say in some of these compliance documents how much traffic you have to be able to take to stand up to. If you're a small business or a mid-size or whatever, and you can't, you're legally, or excuse me, illegally doing business. And I don't think anyone wants to be a CIO or CEO that when the investigation happens, because it will by law now, they're going to start asking those questions. And if you're sitting there saying, well, we were trading, we were doing business, we were, but wait a minute, you guys submitted paperwork that said that you were compliant with this. And did you realize that you have to be able to take this level of traffic? Sure, we pencil whipped it. Guess what? You were doing things illegally. And the days of us on the business side being able to say, well, I didn't know, those are going away. You're going to have to be able to respond to this. And it is getting a lot of push, a lot of going forward. Matter of fact, I was on a working group. We just submitted language up to the White House on the definition of negligence in the context of cyber. This would fall into the definition of negligence. So your board, your CEO, your CIO, those people, they are going to have to be able to understand, respond, and talk about how they would deal with this type of attack. You can't hide behind, I don't know anymore.
Right. So if I understand correctly, at some point, that gives the CISOs a bit more power, right? Because until now, CISOs were depend on budgets. But now, those regulatory comes to the ones who determine the budgets and tell them, you are responsible. And sometimes people actually can go to jail. I was surprised to see that in the DORA and also in the SEC. That's something new to me, that if your organization is not strong enough to stay up and keep your availability online, you will face some fines, and in some cases, you even can go to jail.